This is my plea for people to stop using toxic femininity as kind of the flip side coin of toxic masculinity, but for women, because that's not what it is. Well, it is, but not in the way that anyone talks about it. Anytime I see mention to toxic femininity, toxic feminist is exactly this. It's to address any video or content of mine that has a slight feminist tone. Because people see something that they think is toxic, which is just a woman they don't agree with. And then they see that I'm a woman and they think, that must be toxic femininity. That's it. The issue is it's literally completely the opposite. It refers to the adherence to gender roles that women are assigned. Gender roles that uphold patriarchy and maintain women's lower status beneath men. It is a concept that restricts women to being cooperative, passive, sexually submissive, gentle, and deriving their value from physical beauty while being pleasing to men. But how can this be? I'm very glad you asked. See, when we talk about toxic, what we mean are traits that are deemed to be stereotypically masculine, like aggression, dominance, and the extent to which those traits become internalized to such a degree that they become toxic. It's very easy to see how having too much dominance and too much aggression is not a good thing. And when we talk about that, we almost talk about internalizing those masculine traits and also entirely rejecting complementary feminine traits like warmth, compassion, traits that if you were high in dominance would kind of even that out. Toxic femininity is the same concept. It's this over-internalization of traits typically ascribed to women. But those traits, like I said, are things like warmth, competence, caretaking, being emotional, that when internalized to such a high degree can become toxic to the person, but not to others, not like this commenter implies. And to just wrap it all up, here's a peer-reviewed article about what could be considered toxic about femininity. I'll warn you, there isn't much research on this because it doesn't really exist. But this author highlights 5 forms of toxic femininity. Let's see what they are. Emphasized femininity, which focuses with complying with the patriarchy. Hegemonic femininity, which involves the gendered power structure or essentialized gender binary, so thinking that men and women are inherently different and therefore men are inherently better than women at certain things. Normative femininity, which focuses on social norms, how women should and shouldn't behave and dress and act. And patriarchal femininity, which is a combination of social and patriarchal structure. Here's information about them. And the main difference is that while toxic femininity is primarily dangerous to us and doesn't really harm men as a group, toxic masculinity literally unalives us. And I'm gonna guess it's the same men who think feminism is toxic that put us at risk.